half the people who sit for their PMP exam don't pass on their first attempt. Not because they aren't smart, not because they didn't study. They fail because they prepared for the wrong exam. I'm going to say that again because it matters. They studied, they put in the hours. Many of them have years of real project management experience, and they still walked out of that exam room without a passing score. That is not a work ethic problem. That is a preparation problem. And by the end of this video, you will know exactly what that problem is and what we are going to do differently. My name is Waqas, and I'm a PMP certified project manager and trainer. I've spent over a decade managing projects across IT, infrastructure, oil and gas, telecommunications in Canada, in the UAE, across multiple industries. Projects worth hundreds of millions of dollars, 50 plus stakeholders at a time. I'm talking about real vendors, real budgets, and real consequences. I've been exactly where you are right now, studying for this certification while managing your family and your job. And I've seen firsthand what separates the candidates who pass with above target from the ones who have to book the exam a second time. This course is built on that difference. Every concept we cover, every example we use, every practice question we walk through, it's built around one goal, and that's getting you to above target in all three eco domains on your first attempt. So let's start by understanding what's actually going on. There are three specific, consistent, well-documented reasons why PMP candidates fail. And once you see them clearly, everything about this course will start making sense. Reason number one is that they studied for the wrong exam. Here's something most people don't realize going in. The PMP exam was fundamentally redesigned. The version that most online courses, most prep books, and most courses are still built around, the one with 49 processes, 132 input tools and outputs that you memorize on a chart, that is not the exam you're sitting today. The current exam is built on the PMI exam content outline. We call it the ECO. It is a blueprint of real project management competencies. For example, how you lead people, how you make decisions under pressure, how you choose the right approach for the situation in front of you. And here's the number that surprises almost everyone when they first hear it. Approximately 50% of the questions on today's PMP exam are about agile and hybrid project management. It's not waterfall, not processes, not inputs and outputs. It's all about agile thinking, agile principles, and hybrid delivery. That is literally half the exam. So if you've been cramming PMBOK 6 and memorizing process groups, I want you to stop right now. That is not this exam. We are going to be using PMBOK 7 in this course. And by the way, PMI is changing the exam to align with PMBOK 8 in July 2026. You still have a couple of months depending on when you're watching this video. That said, we will be using PMBOK 7 in this course, and we will also be using the Agile Practice Guide. But everything we cover will be directly mapped back to the ECO, right? Actual exam blueprint. So you always know exactly what you're being tested on and why. Reason number two on why PMP candidates fail. They memorize theory instead of developing the PMI mindset, right? This is the one that gets even the most experienced project managers. You can have 15 or 20 years of real experience and still get consistently tripped up by the PMP questions. Because what PMI expects you to do in a scenario is not always what experience tells you to do. So let me show you what I mean. Here is a situational question, right? The kind you will see on the exam. So for example, you are a project manager. Two senior members are in open conflict. It has been escalating for 2 weeks and is affecting sprint velocity. What do? Take a moment and think about what you would actually do on a real project. Now, most experienced managers would say something like, pull them in, tell them to sort it out, make it clear that this can't continue. It's fast, it's practical, and it's decisive. That sounds like good project management, right? But PMI disagrees. PMI says the right answer is to understand the root cause of the conflict, create a safe environment for open dialogue, and work toward a collaborative resolution, even if that takes longer. Now, this doesn't mean PMI is wrong and experienced managers are right, or the other way around. It means PMI has a very specific set of values: proactive, people first, process discipline. And on this exam, you are not being asked what works in your current office, in your current project, or in your current company, right? You are being asked what PMI considers the best response. Every video in this course is going to be built on that PMI mindset, right? Not by giving you a list of rules to memorize, but by showing you through real examples why PMI values what it actually values, until the right answer on situational questions becomes something you feel and not something you calculate. Reason number 3 on why PMP candidates fail on their first attempt is that they are not prepared for the question format. The PMP is not a knowledge recall exam, guys. It is almost entirely situational. You will be given a scenario, for example, a project mid-execution, a conflict that's just surfaced, a sponsor who wants something that breaks the process, right? And you will need to choose the best response from 4 options. Remember, guys, the best response from PMI's perspective in the context of that specific scenario. And here's what makes this genuinely difficult. On most questions, 2 of the 4 answer choices will sound completely reasonable. That is deliberate, right? The exam is designed to test whether you have internalized the PMI mindset or whether you are applying general common sense. Now, general common sense will get you to around 60% on the exam, or maybe even 65%, but the PMI mindset consistently gets you above target. That is the entire difference, right? And that is what this course aims to teach. So now let's talk about what we are actually working with, because I want you to know the map before we start walking. The PMI exam content outline divides everything into 3 domains: the people domain, the process domain, and the business environment domain. The people domain covers 42% of the exam. It covers how you lead, how you support, how you engage your team and your stakeholders, conflict management, emotional intelligence, servant leadership, negotiation, collaboration, all that stuff, right? This is the domain most candidates underestimate, and it is one of the biggest slices of the exam. Then comes the process domain, which covers 50% of the exam. It covers how you initiate, plan, execute, monitor, control, and close a project across both predictive and agile approaches. It has your scope, schedule, cost, quality, risk, procurement, communications, change management. All of it lives here. Lastly, we have the business environment domain, which covers 8% of the exam. It covers how your project fits into the larger organizational picture: compliance, benefits realization, organizational change, external environmental shifts. 8% sounds small on paper, but these questions are consistently the ones that catch candidates off guard. Now, across all these 3 domains, there are 35 tasks. And by the end of this course, we will have covered every single one of them in depth with examples and with practice questions. Every video will tell you upfront which ego tasks it covers, right? You will always know where you are on the map. I'm going to make sure that nothing gets missed. So what exactly makes this course different from every other PMP prep series or course you have found online? So there are 5 things. There are many things, but I've selected only 5 things for you guys here to make this video short. First, we're going to establish the PMI mindset before we cover a single domain. The mindset is the foundation, guys. Without it, content is just memorization, and memorization does not pass this exam. All right. The second is Agile is woven throughout the entire course. You'll not find it in one module at the end because it is not at the end of the exam, right? Every concept we cover, like planning, execution, monitoring, control, and closure, we cover that in both the predictive world and the agile world. The third reason is every concept gets a real example. I've managed infrastructure rollouts across city networks in Edmonton. I've run CCTV and structured cabling projects for government clients in Dubai. I've worked on offshore rig projects in Sharjah. Over $400 million in delivered project value across multiple industries and countries. Now, those experiences are in this course. not as credentials on a slide, but as the stories that make these abstract concepts concrete. Number 4, we have a running case study, a fictional city-scale digital transformation project called Project Nova. Every concept we learn, we are going to see it play it out in Nova. Stakeholders, scope decisions, budget problems, team conflicts, vendor issues, you name it, right? You will know all of these characters by name by the time we are done. And last but not the least, every video ends with 3 exam-style practice questions. The question, then the answer with the full explanation of the reasoning, right? You will not just know the content by the end, you will be comfortable with the format and you will be comfortable with the thinking. In the next video, we decode the PMP exam itself. The exact question formats like multiple choice, matching, drag and drop, hotspot, right? The scoring system and what above target actually means. How the 180 questions break across the 3 domains. That is also where we introduce Project Nova for the very first time. The fictional case study that's going to follow us throughout every module of this course. Everything in this series builds on what came before it. If you watch in order, you are going to be ready for the exam. So let's make sure we have today's key points locked in before we wrap up. So we have 5 takeaways from this video. The PMP exam is built on the ECO, the exam content outline. PMBOK 7 is a reference and not the exam blueprint itself. You should know the map, not just the guide. Number 2, approximately 50% of the exam covers agile and hybrid approaches. If you're only preparing for predictive or waterfall, you are leaving half the marks on the table. Number 3, the PMI mindset is more important than memorized content. Proactive, people first, process discipline. You need to think in this way and not just know it. Number 4, situational questions test judgment and not recall. 2 answers are going to look right. You need to understand why PMI prefers one over the other. And number 5, this course covers all 35 eco tasks, structured in the logical order that builds your understanding. Not in numbered lists, right? With examples and practice, and we're going to make sure that nothing is left out. All right, let's go to the question. Question number 1. The PMP exam is primarily based on which of the following? So think about it for a moment. I'll give you a second. All right, the correct answer is C, the PMI exam content outline. The ECO is the actual exam blueprint. PMBOK 7 and the Agile Practice Guide are just reference materials. They inform the content, but the exam is structured around the ECO's 3 domains and 35 tasks. If you're preparing without the ECO, you do not have the full picture of what you're being tested on. Question number 2, guys. Approximately what percentage of today's PMP exam covers agile and hybrid project management? We already mentioned that before, guys. The correct answer is C, approximately 50%. This is the number that surprises most candidates. PMI redesigned the exam to reflect how projects are actually delivered today, a mix of predictive, agile, and hybrid approaches. Half the exam tests agile and hybrid thinking. You cannot ignore it and expect to pass. Last question, question number 3. A candidate with 12 years of real project management experience fails the PMP on their first attempt. What is the most likely explanation? I'll give you a second here again to think. All right. The correct answer is C. They applied real-world instincts instead of the PMI mindset. Experience can work against you if it has not been filtered through the PMI lens, right? The PMI tests how you respond to situations using PMI's values. Proactive, people first, process discipline, guys. Remember this. Real-world habits that work on actual projects do not always match what PMI considers the best response. That gap is what this course helps to bridge. In the next video, we are going to decode the exam itself, the question formats, the scoring system, and exactly what above target means. That is the goal, guys, not just to pass, but get you above target. And before you go, if this is the kind of content you've been looking for, I request you guys to subscribe. That button over there exists for a reason, right? And hit like. It tells me that this is landing for you and helps more PMP candidates find this series. Drop a comment and tell me where you are right now. Are you just starting out your PMP journey? Are you a few weeks out from your exam? I read all comments and I answer all questions. I want to know who is on the other end of this. And one more really important thing, PMI is launching a new version of the PMP exam in July 2026, and it's going to be based on the PMBOK 8. And that is a significant change, guys. And a lot of candidates are going to be caught off guard by it. I'm already building a complete structured course to prepare you for that exam. If you want to stay ahead of that change and be the first to know when the course drops, the link to join the waitlist is in the description. There's going to be no spam, I promise, and it's just going to be a heads up when it's ready. Okay, see you in the next one.